Wow, Will Ferrell in a Lifetime movie?
What the fuck, right?
Welcome to Lifetime Movie Mockeries, a channel where I analyze shitty Lifetime movies for your enjoyment.
Yes, that's awesome.
This week's shitty movie is A Deadly Adoption. Now, if you thought Will Ferrell's status as an A-list actor meant this movie was gonna be good, you were dead wrong.
Good.
But to be fair, he did make the movie as kind of a joke, and his agent didn't even want him to do it. But he did it anyway, and here it is. Will Ferrell plays a financial guru and best-selling author named Robert Benson. This is his pregnant wife, Sarah, played by Kristen Wiig, who insists that they go out on a boat ride.
Captain Robert Benson, I am getting in this boat.
Even though they're right in the middle of having a birthday party for their 1-year-old, and then this happens. Robert saves her from drowning, but unfortunately, the accident causes her to lose the baby and also never be able to get pregnant again.
Is that normal? No.
So now it's 5 years later, and Robert and Sarah really want another child, so they meet with a possible birth mother named Bridget about a deadly adoption, regular adoption. She seems really sweet and nice, but it's a Lifetime movie, so that means she's a psycho.
Obviously.
They get to know more about Bridget and find out that she read one of Robert's financial books and is a big fan.
I'm just trying to save up my money so that I can get out of my current living situation.
What is your current living situation?
I'm in a shelter.
Nice reaction. She basically goes on to say that she loves her baby and wishes she could raise it, but she's too poor, so she has to give it to them, which is actually kind of sad. But they're like, perfect! Before leaving, Robert and Sarah ask Bridget to come live with them for the remainder of her pregnancy, even though they've only known her for like 5 minutes. However, the director did include a disclaimer at the bottom that says, "We know this doesn't make any sense, but the movie works a lot better if they're all living in the same house together."
Really?
No. Sarah shows Bridget to her room. Charlie, a guy who works for Sarah, helping her run a farm stand, comes in and says hi to their new adoption mother.
Thank God you're finally here. Maybe the boss lady will relax a little.
Yeah, don't count on it. Did you see how many orders of pumpkin bread we got?
Work. If I didn't love her so much, I'd kill her.
The f*** kind of comment was that?
If I didn't love her so much, I'd kill her.
Later, Bridget looks at a magazine featuring Robert and Sarah and rips her off the cover, thus showing the first sign of her psychoness.
Well, that didn't take long.
The next morning, Bridget, Robert, Sarah, and their now 6-year-old daughter, Sully, have breakfast together.
I saw you guys have a dock out there. I'd love to go down there and read.
The dock is off limits.
The dock is off limits because Robert has never gotten over what happened to Sarah and their unborn child 5 years ago when that accident happened. Whoa! Yes, that's the one. While Robert works on his next book, Bridget enters his office with a special request.
I was gonna sit out on the patio in the sun, and I was wondering if you had any sunblock in the house.
Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. I see where this is going. To the storage closet, where they look for the sunblock together and things get a little sexual.
SPF 30, is that enough?
Yeah, that'll do.
A few days later, Bridget takes it upon herself to take the training wheels off Sully's bike and guides her right towards oncoming traffic. Luckily, this dude was there to keep her out of the road.
I told you to wait for me at the cabin.
Hey there, little girl. What's your name,
You have to go.
Bridget tells Sully that if she mentions what happened here to anyone, that her dad will take her bike away.
That's a lie!
Bridget joins Robert by the water and he tells her all about the accident that happened on the dock 5 years ago.
Worst part is, I blame her. If she just hadn't acted so foolishly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I may never love her the way I used to.
Jesus. While stopping in to buy coffee, Charlie sees Bridget having an argument with that sketchy guy. Bridget goes to take a shower and is spied on by Sully, who's a pervert, but learns that Bridget isn't really pregnant at all. She's wearing a fake pregnancy belly.
Oh man, I didn't see that coming at all.
Sully!
Bridget pulls her into the bathroom and tries to explain the situation.
So some women, when they get pregnant, They have big bellies, and some don't. I have a small belly.
Then why do you have that pretend one?
Because if I didn't, your parents might not believe that I have a baby.
What a confusing answer. Just tell her that it's soft padding to protect the baby. She might believe you. She's 6. Instead, Bridget warns her that if she tells her parents what she saw, her dad will take her bike away.
That one again?
We cut to a farmer's market where this background actor totally gets nailed with a frisbee but doesn't even react, and Sarah receives a text from Bridget asking if she can take Sully to the park. With everyone out of the house, Robert goes through Bridget's stuff and finds a signed copy of his book made out to Joni. This sparks a flashback to a woman named Joni that he banged while on a book tour. So Bridget is really this woman Joni.
Sully.
They call the cops because Bridget has disappeared with their daughter.
Any reason she might want to take Sully?
No, I can't think of any.
Just tell him the truth, you pussy. An officer comes in with a photo of Bridget Gibson.
This a current picture?
No, that's not her.
They conclude that the pregnant woman who has been staying with them might not be the real Bridget Gibson.
Oh, no, really?
That night, Robert admits everything to Sarah about his affair with Bridget years ago, whose real name is Joni.
How could you do this to our family?
Milk was a bad choice.
While hanging missing person flyers, Charlie spots that guy from the other day and decides to follow him. He tries calling Sarah along the way.
Hello?
Sarah, listen, I'm headed toward the lake cabin.
What?
I'm following a guy who I think may have Sully.
Charlie, I can't get...
Hello?
But of course, their connection is broken up.
Yes, of course.
At the lake cabin, because I guess there's only one on this giant lake they showed us at the beginning of the movie, Bridget and her boyfriend are keeping Sully held captive when Charlie starts snooping around.
Looking for something?
He wakes up in the woods with Bridget and her boyfriend.
Police are already looking for you. What are you gonna do? Lock me up with Sully?
I can't afford that.
What are you gonna do?
Bridget tries to comfort Sully, who feels sick because she needs insulin for her diabetes. Her boyfriend is getting impatient and says it's time to call up Robert and demand ransom money in exchange for Sully. Bridget tells him to chill out because she has a plan, and part of that plan is going down to the lake and renting a boat.
Hey, I'm closing.
Please. I'll only be an hour.
Okay. Paddleboard or canoe, what kind?
Why would this guy rent her anything? It's pitch black out. Think about the liability risk if something were to happen to this woman in your boat.
How much is it?
50.
Here's 50.
I like how she just hands him $50 and takes the boat. Doesn't check her ID, doesn't have her sign a rental agreement, just, here you go. What's keeping her from stealing the boat?
Absolutely nothing.
Bridget pulls up to Robert and Sarah's dock in her boat and startles Sarah in the garage, who just returned from the police station. She says that back when Robert and her had a one-night stand, he got her pregnant, but she lost the baby, and now she's going to murder Sarah so that her and Robert can be together.
Oh, okay.
Sarah tries to fight her off, but Bridget punches her in the face, magically lifts her unconscious body into the driver's seat, and starts the ignition, attempting to kill her by carbon monoxide poisoning.
That sounds like a good plan.
Does it? Because all she did was punch her in the face. Sarah's gonna wake up in like 30 seconds, turn the car off, be totally fine, and then go tell the cops everything Bridget just said to her.
Oh, true.
Robert comes home where Bridget pleads for him to be with her. He says no, so she shoots him. And then he does this.
Robert! No.
So now he's unconscious and just bleeding on the floor while his wife is unconscious in the garage.
What a couple of goofballs.
Bridget goes back to the cabin where her boyfriend is pissed because she doesn't have the money he thought they were getting, and she ends up shooting him too. With his own gun, because for some reason she left hers back at Robert's house.
What?
Robert finally gains consciousness after being knocked out by...
Robert!
Diving forward. How was he still knocked out? It's easily been like an hour. You're telling me that Bridget left, returned the boat, drove back to the cabin, and shot her boyfriend all before he ever woke up?
Yes.
Anyway, Robert heroically rescues his wife from the fume-filled garage.
Yippee! Good for you.
I'm gonna go get her.
How?
Well, she won't drive back into town. The only other way out of Storm Lake is across Mackinac Bridge.
What makes you think she hasn't already left town? Like I pointed out, it's been at least an hour. But whatever, you go. I'm sure it'll work out.
Yes, it will.
He sets out on his boat with a bullet in his arm to go save his daughter. What time is it? If it's light out now, that means it has to be around 5:30 or 6 in the morning, which means when all this stuff was happening like an hour ago, it had to have been around 4:30 in the morning. Even though right before that, Sarah was at a police station and Bridget was renting a boat from that guy. So either that guy's little lakeside boat shop weirdly stays open until like 4 in the morning, or this movie's timeline is full of shit.
Yes, that one.
Bridget puts Sully into the truck and takes off. Robert pulls his boat over at Mackinac Bridge and climbs up to the road just as Bridget and Sully come along in the truck.
Hey, what a coincidence.
Don't eat him! No, you're gonna kill him!
Sully jerks the wheel so that they won't hit him, and the vehicle crashes into the guardrail. Sully, who's completely fine, even though she had no airbag and clearly wasn't wearing a seatbelt, gets out and runs to her dad while Bridget's head is like through the steering wheel.
It's okay. You're okay.
Except they're not okay, because Bridget is now out of the car and pointing a gun at them. She forces Sully to walk back to her, but Sully decides to do this instead. And so does Robert. By the time Bridget gets to the railing, which was only like 20 feet away, they're already in the boat.
Well, that was fast.
She takes aim to kill them both, but is shot in the back by Sarah, using the gun that Bridget conveniently left at their house a few scenes ago for no good reason other than Sarah needing it right now to shoot her with.
Plausible, I suppose.
Where are the police? What was Sarah doing that entire time Robert was steering the boat down the lake to save Sully? I assume she was contacting the cops, but I guess not. Why? So she could be the hero?
Yes.
Bridget falls over the bridge head first, but then somehow lands feet first in the water, and the movie cuts to 6 months later where the family's relationship is better than ever. Even though Robert and Sully almost died, Sarah murdered somebody, and they still don't have a baby. But whatever, that's the end of the movie.
Who cares?